Welcome back to Miller's Construction. On this episode, we're actually in the shop today. The shop is really home base for Miller's Construction. We store a lot of equipment in here. We keep all of our tools and supplies in here that's not in our cargo trailer, that we can't fit in our job site cargo trailer. And we do a lot of work out here too, a lot of painting projects, a lot of random trim projects, just things that we can't necessarily do on the job site. We do it in the shop. So we're wanting to up our game in the comfort category. We want to get a little bit more comfortable. We're tired of burning wood in the wintertime, tired of being so humid and hot in the summertime. So on this episode, we're going to be installing a Tosot mini-split system. First, just a little bit about the actual shop. It is a 40 by 50 and it is not insulated very well. The walls don't have a whole lot of insulation in them, but the ceiling does, and that's critical in our hot, humid climate. We've got 1-inch foam panels as the ceiling. It's a nice bright white foam panel, and we've got a pretty good amount of fiberglass blown-in insulation. So because it's such a large space, and because it's not insulated that great, but it is an open space, we decided to go with the Tosot ductless mini split system. This is the 36K system. This is the largest ductless mini split that Tosot makes, and it is a dual head system. This is what we wanted. We've got an 18,000 BTU head times 2. So we've got 2 of them, and we've got 1 outdoor condenser. So this we're actually going to mount on the wall out here. This is a covered lean-to, so it'll be protected. I can't recommend that enough. Anytime you install a mini split system, I like to have protection above it. And it even says that in the instructions. Speaking of which, the instructions from Tosot are extremely clear, which is nice. If unit is frequently exposed to heavy rain or snow, build a shelter above the unit to protect it. Be careful not to obstruct airflow around the unit. So that's what we're going to have in place out there. And what I like about the Tosot brand, comes with pretty much everything you need. Comes with a drain line, comes with your communication lines. Everything you need is in the box. It even comes with the line sets, which is super nice. So 16-foot line sets are included. You pretty much get everything you need to install the mini split unit. Even comes with the through wall adapter to clean things up. Nice bezel and all that stuff to run your drain and your line sets out, the tape, all that good stuff is included. We've already got the power line ran, so we need to mount our disconnect. We've got a disconnect box here. We've got a nice game plan for this. These are the brackets that we have chosen. They're actually really inexpensive. They're from Amazon and they're pretty beefy for what they are. So we're gonna mount these. Comes with everything you need pretty much. What do we got there? A little over 33. Yeah, about 33 inches tall. What's that, 41 inches? 41 inches total, something like that.
Looks like 14 and a half.
14 and a half, so relatively compact for a 36K unit. First things first, we're measuring the distance of the feet of this outside unit. What do you got there, Kay?
Center hole, 25 inches.
25 inches, okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually mount this on the wall right now. We're gonna get that over with. Right, here's our brackets. So now we know that these brackets need to be 25 inches apart.
2.5 inches over that rib right there on 2.5.
Right.
That's center.
Okay.
Okay, and that's all your junk is this way of that. So that should be good, huh?
So we've got framing back there set up for that specific location, right?
Correct. Put that on 2.5 inches, right on that rib.
From the rib?
2.5.
2.5 from the rib?
That gives me 2.5 here. So we want to go
there.
41, we want to go back 6.
Yeah,
25 lines.
That's in that flat, so that's
there.
a good spot for it. Yeah.
There's my height right there. And that is my...
Okay, what did you say the height restriction was, like for head clearance?
20 inches.
20 inches. So they want the outdoor unit to be at least 20 inches lower than the roof or ceiling. Roof. Yeah, below the roof. 20 inches. Yeah, 25 inches.
Okay, I'm right on the edge of that rib right there.
I'll try to hold this.
Right.
If you haven't already noticed, we're going to take you through this install step by step. Nice and slow. We're not going to skip a step without showing you exactly what we're doing. Kay's making sure 100% that this is level right now. What do you got there?
Looks level to me.
Oh, look at that. Hey, I like that, man. All right.
Bubbly, bubbly.
So yeah, we're going to take you through this step by step. I film my YouTube videos a little bit differently than other folks on YouTube. I just feel like a lot of times there's a lot of details that are missing. We're going to show you those details on this particular mini split install. So we're installing 3 of these big washer head style lags. You're going to need a bigger, larger lag screw, maybe even a fender washer for these brackets.
There you are, a little more.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Raise up a little. There you go, right there. That's it.
Tosot provides us with 16 feet of line set for each head that's going to be mounted up here on the walls. We want to make sure that we get those heads as far away from each other as we can. So we're stretching out our line set. We know that we want one of the heads to go right here just to the left of the garage door. That's the one that's going to be farthest away from the unit, really. We've got a 10-foot garage door here to span. So that's another reason that we wanted the wall mounted brackets. We wanted to lift that outside unit up so that we would have enough line set to get all the way across this garage door and enough line set to get up into this bay. We just like the line sets being inside the conditioned space. We've got open stud cavities here, so it'll be easy to run it. We don't have to worry about a line set cover or anything like that. And we've already got a chase behind the header of this garage door that we can fish that line set through. So we're gonna get started on that. Done. The Tosot user manual that they send with the unit has got to be the best manual I've ever seen for a ductless mini split. Not only do they spell it all out for you, they have pictures that actually make sense and that you can actually see. So they show all the different configurations for the line sets directly from the head. Like, look at this illustration. They're showing you where the tape goes, the drain hose, the connection pipe, the signal cable. They show all of it, and then they show a diagram at the end of it how it should look. The first line set has been ran behind our studs here. So that one's done, but we're prepping this second one, which we're gonna run behind this garage door header, hopefully. And right now, Kay is taping the communication lines onto the line set as well. Now, in the instructions, they tell us to tape the drain line to it as well. Here it is. They show taping the drain line on it as well, but we're not going to do that because we're draining directly out the wall. So we're not worried about running the drain horizontally for 16 feet or whatever. Hey, I see it, man.
Yeah.
Yep. Need to go a little bit more though. All right, folks, we're doing this one a little bit different than a traditional mini split unit. Because we're in a shop setting, we've got open rafters here. We've went ahead and mounted the head mount of this specific unit to a 2x8. So we're able to just fasten this directly to the studs, but we want to get it dead accurate. If you don't get it really accurate, it could really mess things up. You want this bracket perfectly level if you can. We're getting ready to hook up the line sets, and we've got a really nice little flare nut torque wrench set here. So we want to make sure we torque these to the specifications in the Tosot user manual. So we've got a 1/4 inch line. We're going to go between 12 and 14 foot-pounds, and then 1/2 inch line between 34 and 36 foot-pounds. And interesting enough, in the Yellow Jacket flare nut sizing chart, it tells us the exact same thing pretty much. So kind of interesting. So we're going to set it to what the manual says and go from there, but it's super important to make sure that you have these torqued to the correct specifications. So that's what we're going to do right now, and we've got our Nylog blue, this gasket and thread sealant. That's essential as well.
We got it Nylog.
You got a Nylog there? You already Nylogged it? Okay. So he's already put a little bit of Nylog on the 1/2 inch line. We've already inspected the flares. That's also important. Make sure those flares look really good from the factory, because sometimes even the best companies will send some really bad flares. So now Matt's got a crescent wrench, and he's got his torque wrench here, and he's got it set to what the book or the user manual tells us. And we're just waiting for that little click. This is super critical. You don't want to lose all of your refrigerant. So if you don't want to do that, make sure you use a torque wrench and torque them properly. Boom. There you go. Doesn't take a lot, just a little bit. That little bit of sealant right there goes a long ways. You hear that, folks? That means we've got a good head. I remember one time, Kay, you remember that? Remember that time out at Anthony's? The head was bad, and
Yeah, there wasn't no pressure.
yeah, there wasn't no pressure on the head. So I believe
Owens called it.
Owens called that one, man.
There's something wrong with this one.
He said, and it was a different brand. I'm not going to name the brand, but it was the DIY brand, is what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a Mr. Heater, let's put it that way. I'm using a 2.5 inch hole saw. That's the diameter of our through wall pipe that they send us, Tosot. So I've got this pretty much marked where I want it to go. Now let's see what it looks like on the other side. Not bad. All right, go ahead and drill these out. Getting ready to make another bend. We've got to make a 90-degree bend out the wall. These easy bends are just so valuable. They make it way easier. You're not stressing about a kink. Now, we'll show you this out here. We've got these through wall adapters from Tosot. They send these with the line set, which is really nice. It just kind of cleans up the connection a little bit, protects the line set, and I think we're going to use some Lexel, something like that, to adhere these to the wall so they're not moving around. And then we might use some great stuff, spray foam inside or something like that to seal up. There we go. All right, pull on those a little bit. There we go. All right. Just got to feed those. Nicely done. Man, that's nice. Just makes it so much easier. And look how nice and tight those bins are. And that's in a 2x4 wall. Okay. Little deburr. You've got a nice smooth cut.
I'll have to hold it down so that
Right, all the burrs fall out instead of going into your refrigerant line. Yep, tap all that junk out. Time to make our flare. We've got a yellow jacket flaring tool, really nice flaring tool. You want me to hold this back? I'll make sure.
I can get it.
Okay. Now something kind of unique about these Tosot units, I don't know that I've seen it before. You have to have a conversion nut on specific models. This specific model, you've got to have it. We'll show you that here in just a second. We've got to get this flared first. Flare this baby up. So here's that conversion nut that I was talking about, and Tosot sends that with the line sets. So you don't have to buy that, which is really nice. They send you everything that you need to do it right. All right, let's check out that flare. Oh man, check that out, folks. When you have the right tool for the job, it just makes it so much easier. Okay, this is the conversion nut that you need from Tosot to connect 1/2-inch line sets to the outside unit. They send this conversion nut with the line sets. A little bit of nylog. Here you go. Really good stuff. You gotta have it. Gotta have it, man. Just ensures for a proper seal. Time to vacuum this baby down. I'm gonna let it vacuum, and we're gonna go get some dinner while this is doing its thing. We're back on site today. Went home last night. We let this stay vacuumed all night long, and it didn't drop at all, so we feel pretty good about that. We're about to release the refrigerant into this specific line set, and then we're going to move to the next one.
Ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Cap it back up. So now it's time to wire up the actual head. We're doing that while our vacuum is pulling on this specific line set. So we're going to walk you through that. We've got the manual, and every ductless mini split is probably different, I would imagine, but it lays it out very nicely for you in these instructions. Shows us exactly where to wire them up. N1 is white or blue. Blue is in parentheses. I believe we've got a white, white with a little bit of blue on there. Very good. So now we just need to tighten that up. And it's nice that the Tosot power or communication lines come pre-terminated with some spade terminals on there. Makes it really easy. Okay, number 2 is black. And then number 3 is the red or brown line. And then he just finished with the green on the last one, which is, I believe, is ground. So that's our communication line. That runs from the head all the way to the outdoor unit. We still got to wire it in, but that's where that line connects. And then it's behind a cover right here. Super easy to access, easy to hook up. Time to route our communication wires. This is going to the head that's connected to line set A, which is that specific head. We need to make sure we hook it up to the proper locations. So we want to hook this specific communication line up to letter A on the outdoor unit. It's nice that they label everything for you. There you go. White/blue is N1, so that'd be your far left. Two is going to be black. And 3 is going to be red/brown. Yep. Nice that they have these little straps kind of hold your communication lines exactly where they need to be. We've got our disconnect mounted to the wall and our power line coming through. Now it's time to hook them up. So we're going to do that real quick. We're using 10 gauge wire. That's what the book called for, the user manual. So we want to pay attention to that. And we'll have this hooked up shortly. It's really not a big deal. It's a 220 volt system, and it is super efficient. 21 SEER on this specific model. Yep.
Yeah, I think it will.
I think it's going to fit fine. Perfect. Nice and roomy. Yeah, looks great. Disconnect is installed and hooked up. The unit's looking nice. We are basically ready to pull our vacuum off. We ran it for an hour and we have not lost a vacuum in 30 minutes. Haven't lost any pressure at all. We're pretty good. I think we're sealed up nicely. I think we're ready to freon that specific line set up and put our cover back on and give it a test run. There we are. You can hold this. I got it. Our line set, cover on. We just powered them on for the first time, and you can see we've got a little red light. So it's time to see what we can do with one of these remotes. We already put the batteries in. These are nice, big, robust remotes. So I'm not sure if this is for this specific head, but we're going to try it. It is. There we go. And that one's got the red light on it as well. We're going to turn this down to a comfortable temperature, maybe 72 degrees. Let's make sure we're on the correct mode. There we go. 72 degrees. Okay, we just mounted these over here on the wall. Let me get this one rocking here. Here we go. And we're going to turn it to mode AC. 72 degrees. And that should start up. There we go. Fan's moving a little bit, ain't it? She's starting up for the first time. And there it goes. We've got both units powered up and cooling down the shop, but I really want to hook up the Wi-Fi. This is an awesome feature from Tosot. So the first thing that we need to do is press the plus button and then AC. And we've got to go through this. Basically, this is telling us to turn the air conditioner off, and then we've got to press the Wi-Fi button and the mode button. So Wi-Fi and mode, we should hear a beep. Okay, it just beeped. There we go. Now I need to check mark this, hit next. There it is. I'm going to connect to it. And there we go. That's our Wi-Fi here. We're going to save that. Well, there's a doggy door right there, so we'll name this the dog door. That way that's, yeah. There we go, dog door. Now we're going to hit the power button. And there we go. It's powering on just like that. Now check this out, folks. It's set to 70 degrees right now. You can see that on the actual head itself. So watch this right here. Turn it down to 61 and there we go. Now it's on 61. Now I can press the center of it, and at the bottom we've got mode. So that gives us our mode heat. We're on cool mode right now, which is what we want. Speed and direction, we've got it on turbo, and we've got the wind direction, which is basically the vanes. They're going to move up and down. We want it to really oscillate the air up and down. So really nice app from Tosot. Nice that they have this feature built right into the units. You don't have to buy a separate module or anything like that. So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Both Tosot head units are installed. Both of them are 18Ks. Once again, this is a 36K unit. Let me take you outside. Outside unit is up and running. We're really liking it. Was this a difficult system to install? As long as you follow the user manual, this thing's a piece of cake. This is the first mini split that I've ever installed completely on my own without an HVAC technician assisting us. Typically, we have an HVAC technician vacuum the lines, freon the lines up, wire it up, all that stuff. But this user manual really helps, and it's really easy to read and follow. I wanted to get one under my belt, and I couldn't have thought of a better brand to try it out on than Tosot. I think these are going to be really nice units, especially for the shop. We've wanted this for a really long time. It's going to keep us nice and comfortable. So if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave me a comment down below. We really appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.